in motorsports coverage presents Auto Racing 86, setting the standards with the most extensive schedule in racing. Welcome you to the mountains of northeastern Tennessee, Bristol and Bristol International Raceway for the Tri Cities Pontiac 204 Grand National Cars. It's a beautiful evening here in Tennessee, and we welcome you to this 200-lap race. I'm Bob Jenkins, and this race has historically been one of the most exciting of the Grand National Series. It's a little over a half-mile long, the racetrack is. The turn's banked at 34 degrees. I'll be one of 3 announcers in the booth for you tonight. Let's go to 2 others. Here is Larry Newber.
Thank you, Bob. You know, Jeff Bodine just alluded to it in Victory Lane after he set the pole for the Winston Cup race. He said that I'm going to sit here and watch my brother race now, who's on the pole of this race. There's something about this racetrack. We're in an amphitheater here, and when the Winston Cup qualifying is over, you can't escape. So all the Winston Cup teams get up on the wall and watch the competitors in the Grand National Series. The competitors seem to sense it, and it seems like every year somebody emerges from this race.
Well, you know, every race car driver dreams of winning a Daytona 500 or a Talladega Atlanta, but you have to get somebody's attention to do it. Every year there's a lot of Grand National races that are preliminary before a Winston Cup event. And here is the only racetrack, at Bristol is the only racetrack that the Grand National drivers have a chance to really shine. When we go to Daytona, to Charlotte, to Darlington, the Winston Cup drivers have a decided advantage because of their experience. Not so at Bristol. These fellows can outrun Earnhardt. They can outrun Walter, and they can make somebody with some money or an owner down there with a Winston Cup car say, hey, that guy knows how to drive. Dale Jarrett last week, he won the race at Orange County, the Grand National race. He's here. He has a ride for tomorrow night in the Winston Cup race, Mike Herb's car. If he could come back-to-back victories tonight, it might assure him of a Winston Cup career.
Well, last year it was Brett Bodine, maybe Dale Jarrett this year. Jack LaRue down in the pits. What about it? What's the karma like down there?
Well, actually, the concern is, and we've heard it, but Benny actually alluded to it, the fact that throughout the Grand National Brigade, when they go to the super speedways, some Winston Cup regulars compete against them, and a lot of times they beat them. The Grand National drivers love to have Winston Cup competitors come to Bristol and race against them, and there will be 3 in tonight's race. Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Darrell Waltrip have all presented Grand National cars here, and these Winston Cup regulars are going to have their hands full with the likes of Brett Bodine, Brad Teague, Jack Ingram, you name it. They would like to beat the Winston Cup regulars here on the home turf because they feel that that would also give them a gold star when the Winston Cup owners look at them. So that's the story from down here. We'll just have to see what it'll be like 200 laps from now. Let's go back topside now to our host, Bob Jenkins.
Thank you very much, Jack. 29 drivers are set to go in the Tri-Cities Pontiac 200 from Bristol. And it's all being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. And by Goodyear Eagles, you either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. And we'll be back to check the starting lineup for tonight's race here at Bristol International Raceway right after these messages.
Have you driven a Ford? When was the last time you had the kind of car that brings the road alive? Have you driven a Ford? Then you don't know what you're missing. Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Out here, a thunderstorm rolls in fast, sometimes too fast. And when they're taken care of, it's your turn. Busch. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for Busch. Head for the mountains.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, getting set for the Tri Cities Pontiac 200 lap event for Grand National cars. Here's a description of the racetrack. It's 0.533 miles in length. The turns are banked somewhere between 34 and 36 degrees. The track is very wide, 60 feet. First race was held here back in 1961. There was a seating capacity of 38,000. And for the first time in history, because of the demand for tickets for this particular race, they've opened up the grandstands on the backside of the racetrack. And it is one of the fastest and most demanding short tracks on the Grand National schedule.
Benny, not only the widest, but the highest banks of any racetrack in the country nowadays. The Nashville used to be banked pretty high. Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I think you raced in your ARCA, then the John Markham days. Dayton had a pretty good bank on it. Winchester is a good one, but this one is just a little bit higher.
This one is the highest racetrack of all. This is banked even higher than Talladega, where they run 212 miles per hour. Bill Elliott qualified down in May at 212.
29 drivers are set to go for this race. We have qualified earlier in the afternoon, again during the pretty much heat of the day. Track conditions quite differently as we begin this race.
Darrell Waltrip, Bob, 21st starting position. Pretty surprising.
And right now, let's go down to Jack Arute, who has the order to begin this event. All right. A good southern demand there to start the engines.
That was nice.
And the 29 cars fire to life for 200 grueling miles on this half-mile racetrack here in Bristol. The pace car with its lights on and the field just about to move away. Here is the starting lineup. On the front row in the Thomas Brothers Country Ham car, the number 00 machine from Harrisburg, North Carolina, is Brett Bodine. Outside will be car number 75, Brad Teague from Johnson City, Tennessee. In the second row, car number 77, Morgan Shepherd from Conover, North Carolina, and Jack Ingram in the number 11, Pantry Skull Bandit Pontiac. Starting in fifth position will be Dale Earnhardt from Mooresville, North Carolina in car number 8. Then Larry Pollard in car number 98. He's from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Starting in seventh position will be car number 2, L.D. Ottinger from Newport, Tennessee. Outside will be Kenny Burks in car number 02. He's from Charlottesville, Virginia. Starting in ninth position, Larry Pearson in car number 21. Outside will be Davey Allison in car number 7. Starting in 11th position will be Bobby Dragon in 71 and Jimmy Lofton 16. In the 7th row for tonight's race will be Tommy Houston in number 6 and Jimmy Hensley in 63. The 8th row, Ronnie Silver in 14 and Joe Thurman in number 4. Row number 9 will be Charlie Luck in 45 and Dale Jarrett in 32. The 10th row consists of Ed Barrier in 07 and Mike Porter in number 3. Row number 11, Darrell Waltrip in car number 1 and Rick Mast in 22. The 12th row, Joe Harrison in 57 and Elton Sawyer in 42. Row number 13 consists of Paul Radford in 05 and John Linville in 62. The 14th row, Brian Baker in 54 and Rodney Fouché in 55. And all alone in row number 15, car number 0 will be Bosco Lowe, and this time around they should get the green flag.
Watch carefully, just 16.5 seconds a lap. Benny, the rules traditionally have not allowed you to change tires underneath a yellow because it would give you a penalty, but they've changed it. Tonight you can.
Well, they have to, because this is 200 laps and it's a very, very fast racetrack. They have there's only way they can compete fairly is by changing tires.
All right, here they come off of corner number 4, looking for the green flag. Let's see if they get it. Yes, the green flag is out. The Tri City Pontiac 200 from Bristol is underway, and the pole sitter, Brett Bodine, in car 00, grabs a lead going into turn number 1. He holds it into turn number 3, but Brad Teague is right there to challenge him for it. That's Morgan Shepherd running in 3rd position. Lap number 1 is completed. Bodine still has the lead. Teague 2nd. Morgan Shepherd is 3rd, followed by Jack Ingram and Dale Earnhardt, then L.D. Ottinger and Larry Pollard. Everybody clean so far as 2 laps have been completed. The cars are pretty much in single file order now as they get strung out just a little bit. There you can see the leader, Brett Bodine, followed by Brad Teague and Morgan Shepherd right there knocking on the door in third position. You can see sparks coming from some of these machines as they bottom out in the corners.
Now the cars will get a little bit lighter as the race wears on. They've got full loads of fuel, which makes the cars a little heavier. You see more bottoming out at the beginning of the race than you would say during practice or qualifying. But still, that's something the crews have to be aware of. And lots of spark coming from Jack Ingram's car going through turns 3 and 4. Jack Ingram is slowing down. Heavy-duty sparks.
Well, I would not speculate as to what that was, but there's no question that it has caused Jack Ingram a problem as he is slowing down and being passed on the backstretch. Any observations, Benny?
It looks like he might have broke something in the suspension because the car is erratic. It's all over the racetrack. I'm guessing he could have broken a rear sway bar, but that's purely a guess.
So a tough break for Jack Ingram in car number 11 as he pulls into the pit area and may have to call it quits. The yellow flag is out. The caution is out.
What a break for Ingram. It was a flat tire. He still has lost at least one lap, but it was a flat tire. Benny, it went down very gradually. It didn't deflate. It wasn't a puncture. He just ran over something apparently in the track and it went down.
It looks like it was just simply a flat tire, but I wonder if he might not have a problem, something on the car that's wearing the tire out, but maybe not. He has only lost one lap. He's back on the racetrack.
We have a big piece of debris on the main straightaway here. That's one of the reasons for the yellow. Some piece has come off of a race car, and the yellow flag is out. So we have completed 7 laps, and the yellow is out at Bristol International Raceway as we bring you the Tri City Pontiac 200.
For all those performance cars that want to keep performing even in wet, sloppy weather, Goodyear introduces the Eagle GT Plus 4. High performance and all-weather performance in one remarkable tire. The Eagle GT Plus 4. The performance won't be canceled by the weather. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
The right parts. Mr. Goodwrench has the right parts for your GM car. Parts that fit. Parts engineered for your car by people who designed your car. Parts for every make and every model of virtually every GM car and light truck on the road today. Mr. Goodwrench can help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts because no one knows your GM car better. No one.
The traditional vacation in the family car. Except one thing's changed. The family car. Taurus. The new Ford Taurus. One car designed to meet all your driving needs, as well as the needs of those you're driving.
Taurus. Now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. Taurus. Taurus for us. Have you driven a Ford lately?
2-1 the count.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Ooh, I like the way it looks.
I'll be finished soon.
Oh, good. Look, I bought you some new fishing clothes.
Hey, those are nice. Thanks. In fact, I'll wear them this afternoon.
From work to weekends, Dickies are America's favorite work clothes, made with Celanese 412 polyester.
The green flag has come back out here in the Tri City Pontiac 200 for Grand National cars. The lead continues to be held by number 00 Brett Bodine. Second place is Brad Teague. Third is Morgan Shepherd. Fourth is Dale Earnhardt. And fifth is Eldie Ottinger. Now we have just come off of a yellow because of a piece of debris on the racetrack and because of a situation created by Jack Ingram. And this is how it happened as they went into turn number 3.
There we see the car. Something has happened to the car in the front end. It just falls down. He has a flat right rear tire, but something else happened to the car that just let it drag the racetrack all the way around, and it probably knocked it off as he came down the front straightaway, and NASCAR had to throw the caution flag to get it off the racetrack.
And a couple of other drivers pitted during this caution period, namely Dale Jarrett and Tommy Houston. Let's find out Jack Ingram's status from Jack Arute.
Well, Jack Ingram has retired from the competition, and Benny Parsons, you talked about a tire going down. It literally was cut. This cut led to what retired Jack Ingram. Ingram. A piece from another car came off. It cut the tire, but in the process, it also split the oil pan on Jack Ingram's car. He's out.
So the first retiree of the evening is Jack Ingram in car number 11. We have had a driver change in car number 0. Alan Applegate got into the car after Bosco Lowe started the event under the caution flag.
Up front, Morgan Shepherd in that black and silver car right there is really turning the heat on Brad Teague. Look at him work Teague over. He's been inside of him a couple times going into the first turn. He was inside of him once going into the third turn. He is really battling for that runner-up spot. Look at this. Almost 3 abreast. Here comes Earnhardt on the high side. Dale Earnhardt really taking advantage of the situation.
Earnhardt on the high side of the racetrack. Let's see if he can take over that position. Now Shepherd moves right alongside Earnhardt as they battle for that third spot down the backstretch. It is Earnhardt on the high side and Shepherd on the low side. There's still wheel to wheel, a little bit of tire smoke coming off of the Dale Earnhardt car, and he settles back into 4th position.
Benny, it's been Teague that has been kind of protecting the position for Shepherd and holding him back so that he can't get away from Earnhardt.
That's right. Brad Teague's car is loosened up just a little bit. He's having trouble getting through the turns. He's holding up Earnhardt and Shepherd, but Shepherd is alongside of him right now, trying to take that spot and gets by going in turn 1.
Great racing here. Morgan Shepherd has gone into 2nd position. Brad Teague back to 3rd. Now Dale Earnhardt is still right behind Brad Teague and looks for that 3rd spot. All this happening behind our leader, Brett Bodine. Another driver who's moving up quickly on the field is Darrell Waltrip, who started 21st and unofficially right now is running in 15th position, but the real battle is still up front.
I'll tell you, this is as close to dirt track racing as you'll ever get on pavement. There is Waltrip moving from the back of the pack, as Bob told you, and up front, they are still running 2 and 3 abreast.
It is still Brett Bodine leading. They're lapping slower cars already. The leaders take to the high side of the racetrack while the slower cars reach on the bottom. Here is Bodine out of the corner number 4, completing lap number 22. Look how close Morgan Shepherd is to him.
Morgan Shepherd has a problem right now. There's something wrong with the left front. Either the tire is rubbing the fender or something happening, and that can't last for long because the tire will blow out if he keeps rubbing the fender, if that's what it is.
Well, there is smoke coming from that car, but at the moment it's a little difficult to determine actually what the problem is. Nevertheless, it is Bodine maintaining the lead over Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd goes high in the 3rd turn.
That's exactly what's happened. Morgan Shepherd has run in the back of someone. He's nudged someone and knocked the fender back on the tire. That's what's rubbing the tire is the fender where he's made some contact with another car.
So we'll watch to see what happens there. Meanwhile, look at this battle for 3rd position. That's Dale Earnhardt on the low side of the racetrack and Brad Teague on the high side. It looks as if Dale Earnhardt is going to take that 3rd spot. They cross the line, and Earnhardt has just about a half car length advantage. He does now move into 3rd position. And now L.D. Ottinger in car number 2, the black and yellow car, is challenging Brad Teague.
Ottinger has been kind of quiet up till now, but he's been sitting back there watching this battle between Earnhardt and Teague. Teague has been an absolute koala bear clutching to that position. He won't let go, but finally Earnhardt and Shepherd have now gotten by him, and Ottinger is going to go to work.
LD doing a very good job. Right now his car is very, very quick. Looks like he may have one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now.
Things settling down just a little bit after a furious start. There for about the first 20 or 25 laps of the race, we saw positions change and battle after battle. Now here goes Ottinger to the inside of Brad Teague in the 3rd turn. Oh, and they spin. Brad Teague is spinning. He is hit by Ottinger. Both of them are involved in a collision. They slide down the banking. Everybody back of them miraculously get on the brakes and avoid all the melee. And I don't think either car is going to be damaged enough to put them out of the race, but the yellow comes on.
Yes, Ottinger's car, the right front, the toe end's knocked out severely on the car. I looked at the right front as it went by. It's knocked in. I know Chuck Ryder with All Pro is very unhappy right now.
I'll tell you, the other guy who's got to be unhappy is Brad Teague, because he had really protected that position, and both Shepherd and Earnhardt had gotten around him. There you see Ottinger getting out of shape. He's trying to save it. As he comes back, he clips the left rear of Brad. Brad out of control, carries LD up into the outer wall. And Benny, as you said, it looked like that LD might have got the worst of it. Maybe that was body work that was hitting on Teague, but LD, there was some frame going into that.
Yes, we see LD's on the inside, but Brad Teague drives him down. You see LD's car is below the white line. That's the apron of the racetrack. When you get on that apron, it forces the car back up the racetrack dramatically. And when he went back up the racetrack, Brad Teague was in the spot he tried to go in.
So both L.D. Ottinger and Brad Teague are going to be coming into the pits for repairs to their cars. We're yellow at Bristol International Raceway after 30 laps. The leader is Brett Bodine.
Personal Best, brought to you by the U.S. Army, the place to be all you can be. Dan Carlisle, trap and skeet shooting world champion, uses mental concentration to achieve his personal best.
I know my basic fundamentals and my techniques, and if I live by my basics and just worry about each individual target, I don't have any problem shooting. When you play the mind games get bothering you and you got a few head games, then you're in trouble.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
The green flag is out. We're back to racing at Bristol International Speedway, and the lead continues to be held by Brett Bodine, and Morgan Shepherd is in second position. L.D. Ottinger in car number 2 is still in the pits, and here is Dale Earnhardt entering the pits on the backstretch. We have pits both here on the front stretch and the backstretch, and Dale has entered his pits on the backstretch. Ottinger still in the pit area. The other car involved in that accident, Brad Teague, is back out on the racetrack.
Well, Ottinger has lost laps. Ingram is out of the race. Earnhardt is sitting in the pits, so the field is quickly dwindling down here. Normally, all those guys among the veterans and the ones who are really skilled at finishing one of these races. We heard it a number of times in the pits this afternoon during practice and qualifications. The key to winning one of these races is not being the fastest in the first 50 laps, but going the distance.
Earnhardt comes back on the racetrack. Evidently, they found the problem, fixed it. He's back on the racetrack, getting up speed down the front straightaway right now.
Let's review the top 10 for you. It's Bodine leading, Morgan Shepherd in second position, Larry Pollard is third, in fourth is Larry Pearson, fifth is Davey Allison, in sixth position is Darrell Waltrip, seventh is Kenny Burks, in eighth position is Bobby Dragon, ninth is Tommy Houston, and 10th is Ronnie Silver. And here's the battle for third place, Pollard and Pearson.
Pollard and Pearson. Pollard, who qualified well here in that red 98 car, was the sixth fastest qualifier. Larry Pearson was ninth. You heard Bob mention Darrell Waltrip. He's come all the way from 21st starting position, and Ottinger looks like he would like to get back out. No, he's going behind the wall. Benny, his day may be over. His night, sorry.
Because it is a tough break, because it looked like when he went out that he had the fastest car on the speedway.
So several cars dropping out of the going here in the first 38 laps, including Jack Ingram and L.D. Ottinger.
You know, it's an old song, Benny, but I gotta say Waltrip has once again been very impressive. He is only a straightaway behind the leader, Brett Bodine, at a very miserable qualifying run. He may be the fastest car right now on the track.
Boy, those guys are close out there. Pearson and Pollard running right together. Pearson on the inside of the track, forcing Pollard high. And here comes Davey Allison now moving alongside Larry Pollard, racing down the straightaway. They go into the first turn, and Davey Allison grabs the position. He moves into fourth.
The torch being passed, Benny.
Yes, it is. And Larry Pollard had a couple of good runs the last couple of weeks. Was looking forward to a great race tonight, qualified well. And hey, it's not over yet. We're only 41 laps into the race.
Larry Pearson has moved to fourth, and this man, Davey Allison, in car number 7, has moved to fifth position now. Up front, the lead continues to be held by Brett Bodine in car number 00. Following him is Morgan Shepherd, but just about a car length as we continue to focus in on this third and fourth. Here are the leaders now as they continue to move through the traffic.
Brett Bodine in the Thomas Brothers 00 has had 4 second-place finishes this year. He's not won a race, and 3 of those 4 second places have come in the last 4 races. So it seems like that team is primed and poised and ready to win a race.
Right now, I'm surprised. Morgan Shepherd was clearly the fastest car on the speedway. When that tire started rubbing the left, when the fender started rubbing the left front tire, Morgan Shepherd backed off. I think he discovered he had a problem. He backed off, Well, look at there, Pollard and Darrell Waltrip. Waltrip on the move, trying to get by Larry Pollard.
Well, Darrell Waltrip had a very poor qualifying effort. He started 25th, but now he has moved up to challenge Larry Pollard for that 6th position. So Darrell Waltrip is moving up toward the front of the pack as they continue to lap the slower cars. That's the number 55 machine of Rodney Lee Fouché that they're lapping in turn number 2.
And as Pollard and Waltrip do battle, there is Dale Earnhardt. Remember, he lost a lap when he came into the pits. He has lost 1 lap, but he's moving up to the front. Up front, things are getting closer. Larry Pearson seems to be moving in on Morgan Shepherd.
Larry Pollard is the driver of car number 98. We had a chance to talk with him earlier in the afternoon.
One of the age-old questions is what percentage of the success belongs to the car, the mechanics of it, and what percentage belongs to the driver? Has the percentage in your mind changed over the last year?
Yes, sir. Okay, let's put this in perspective. I think the driver is 90% of the problem or the successful car, because I think it is the driver's responsibility to know what the car takes. And I think the days are gone of the crew chief saying, okay, this is what the car takes, you go out and drive it. I think nowadays, for anybody in our league, in the Winston Cup League, to be successful, you've got to have a driver that can tell you what the car needs.
And we have a crash involving Tommy Houston in car number 6, and a couple of others go to the infield to avoid. Tommy Houston spun, got into the fence just a little bit. His car is now stalled right in the groove in the middle of the racetrack, and the car is stalled. So the second yellow flag of the afternoon comes out, of the evening, I should say.
Rick Mast was one of the guys who took evasive action, went down low, got into the pea gravel, did not crash. Benny, this is one of the downsized cars. This happens to be one of the Buick downsized cars. So many of them have the V6 engines, but the cars are visibly different this year, and they really are reflecting what's coming off the assembly line.
They sure are, and that's the race cars of the future. That's the race cars that are going to be running in Grand National in the next couple of years.
Houston is still stalled on the racetrack. There's a look at Tommy. The accident occurring in turn number 3. Tommy was running up in the 7th position when the accident occurred. There's the waning moments of the spin.
Tommy Houston, who is one of the standout regulars of Grand National Sportsman Racing. He's always in the top 10 in points, and it's most unusual to see him simply lose control. You got to believe that something must have broken on the car.
Yeah, it looks like they're having trouble getting Tommy out of the automobile. No, he's standing up now. They helped him out, but he's standing up now. Unlikely sponsor on that race car, Bob, Southern Biscuit Flour.
But they've been with Tommy for several seasons now. Tommy is being assisted to the ambulance, so he may have gotten his bell rung there when he had that encounter with the third turn wall. Well, another driver out of the race, L.D. Ottinger. Here is Jack Arute.
Problem with L.D. Ottinger's car back here. The tailwind is just kicked all to heck. L.D., what happened out there to cause the crash?
Well, Brad got a little sideways, and I was up beside of him, and when he did, he come back down the hill a little bit, and I got into him, and just, got into the wall then.
No room, no margin for error here. I don't care how quick your reflexes are.
No, Brad was having trouble, and I didn't want to run, that hard, but he was having trouble, so I needed to get by him, and I was up beside of him, and he just got sideways, and didn't leave me room, got into me.
Let's update you also while we're here. A lot of cut tires, Benny Parson. We're seeing them. Dale Earnhardt came in. He had a cut tire. Jack Ingram before he dropped out. What do you think's causing that? It's not tire problems. It's debris on the racetrack.
There's derbish on the racetrack where cars are running together. Jack lost the exhaust pipe early, and I ran over it, and I might have cut a tire then, but anyhow, there's a lot of stuff on the racetrack.
It's kind of like walking through a minefield with some glass down there barefoot.
Yeah.
The problem is that the racetrack is so dark. The surface of the racetrack is so dark that you just cannot see the debris laying on the speedway. Your hands are tied. If there's something laying out there, there's just no way of seeing it. They're having a problem with that 6-car moment. I noticed that when it stopped a moment ago, that it stopped very abruptly. It's like the brakes are locked up, or the car will not roll.
It's taking a long time to get this car off the racetrack. While this Tommy Houston accident was occurring, we had a change for second position. Morgan Shepherd came into the pits, and Larry Pearson is now in second place. We'll be right back.
Buick Subaru has them all. From the sleek, daring, and fun-to-drive Subaru XT Coupe to the on-demand four-wheel drive Subaru wagon. Subaru, a car with versatility, excitement, and value, as low as $59.95.
Hi, I'm Bob Gwynn. Do you know what this is? It's a suit. No, actually, it's a pattern for a suit. And I'd like to make one just for you. You don't have to be a Rothschild or a Rockefeller to own your own custom-tailored garment. At Gwynn's, our template-tailored suits start at $295. And when we tailor a suit for you, it fits. Just think, you can own your own custom-tailored suit for about the same price as a ready-made. What can I tell you? Gwynn's has done it again.
Billy Martin may be back in Yankee pinstripe.
The latest news.
Oklahoma and Nebraska are tied at 21 with a minute remaining.
Scores updated every 5 minutes.
Jack Nicklaus has just won the Masters.
The biggest stories, the fastest scores, just a phone call away all day, every day. ESPN Dial Sports, 1-900-976-1313. The numbers for scores, headlines, and ESPN program information. ESPN Dial Sports, 1-900-976-1313.
We're here in the pits with Tommy Houston, who's just retired from the race. He had to take a quick ride to the infield medical center here to be checked by the medicos. Tommy, first of all, are you okay?
Yeah, Jack, I'm okay. I got the wind knocked out of me up there. A piece of debris flew off a car in front of me. I'm not sure if it was Earnhardt's car or if it was Waltrip's car. It was one of the cars ahead of me. And I felt it hit the rear of the car, and it's laying back here on the back stretch. Now, I didn't think nothing about that thing hitting that tire, but it did, boy. I mean, it cut it down right when I went into 3 up there, and I took a ride up into that wall.
Well, there's 3 for debris that we can count on our hands thus far, but take a look at this. This isn't the first time he's been hit. He's got a flak jacket already, and that literally contributed to knocking the breath out of you.
Yeah, it really did. You know, I got to say thanks to Vic Winburn, a friend of mine back in Hickory. He's been working with me with some of these rear protectors, and he went with me this week, and we got this thing worked out. And Vic, all I got to say is the thing worked good, and I'm fortunate I had it on. If I didn't, I'd be laid up another 8 weeks like I have been from Indianapolis, the wreck out there. But, Jack, you know, the Southern Biscuit Flyer Buick, it was an 86 Century. The first time I ran it, had a V6 Ruggles Buick engine in that thing, and it was going back to the front. That boy was running along pretty good. I was taking my time and just moving along there, so I was right happy with it. I don't know if we're out of the race yet. I'm going to go see.
Well, that's it for Tommy Houston, but he'll be back at Darlington next week with his Southern Biscuit Flour Special. Guys?
Never say die, Tommy Houston. Well, a couple of top contenders have their work cut out for them. Dale Earnhardt lost 2 laps while in the pit area, and Morgan Shepherd is almost down a lap. We'll be right back at Bristol.
In 1985, the winning cars of the most prestigious auto races were equipped with Goodyear Racing Eagles. So it's small wonder that in 1986, most of the finest high-performance street cars are equipped with Goodyear Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
I put a good 150 miles a year of stop and go driving on my car. Quarter mile here, quarter mile there. It adds up. So I use Wynn's friction-proofing engine treatment. Adding a bottle with every oil change helps stop oil breakdown and oil burning. Wynn's has added protection and insurance that helps me run cooler and smoother. And if Wynn's does all that for my $100,000 race car, just think what it can do for this one.
Wynn's, a better run for your money for over 40 years.
Get that all-American feeling with live college football on ESPN. You're on campus with the sights and sounds surrounding the nation's #1 teams. Cheer with the best every Saturday night and with exclusive Thursday night specials. Live college football on ESPN for that all-American feeling. See Miami, the top-ranked team in preseason polls, take on South Carolina in ESPN's live CFA season premiere. Saturday, August 30th at 8 Eastern.
You think this is exciting? Join us tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time for Winston Cup Racing, the NASCAR Busch 500 from right here at Bristol International Raceway. You've heard of Have Gun Will Travel? Well, that thing you're looking at there is Have Impact Wrench Will Travel, right?
That is an impact wrench that one of the fellas used to change these tires. He has his own little case that he carries around in, so you're right. Have Wrench Will Travel. That's great. Good shot, guys.
We're about to go back green here, and Morgan Shepherd has made a pit stop. It was not what I would call a routine stop, and he is now on the tail end of the field.
And Earnhardt is 2 laps down, but in the 2 abreast restart, you'll see that black and silver Mr. Goodwrench number 8 right alongside of Bodine. Watch him pick up his first lap right away.
All right, the field comes out of corner number 4, and the green flag waves. We are back to racing. That completes lap number 59. Larry Pearson has a terrible start. The car just won't go. He was in second position, and now we have a problem up in turn number 2 as several cars bang and scrape together, but everybody appears to be okay.
Larry Pollard is going very slow, Bob. I think Pollard has caused himself a problem as he tried to steer around Larry Pearson, and Pollard may be coming in.
Now there is Dale Earnhardt leading, but he is not the leader. He is leading Brett Bodine, but remember, Earnhardt went 2 laps down in the pits, so Brett Bodine continues to lead. Earnhardt trying to get 1 of his laps back. Both Larry Pollard and Larry Pearson are in the pits.
Well, Larry Pollard has the right front tire flat. Larry Pearson, I don't really know what his problem is unless the car is jammed in 2 gears.
Well, let's go down to Jack. Maybe he can tell us.
Well, it looks like it is a problem possibly with the transmission. The crew has gone beneath the bottom of the 21 Chattanooga 2 Special. Larry Pearson's father, David, is conferring with him right now. They're checking up by the clutch and the transmission area. So it's obvious that there's a problem in the drivetrain. He's losing valuable time, a tough break, because he was running so well towards the front of the restart. He was in second position.
I'll tell you, I fully expected him to take the lead on that restart because Bodine was not running that strong when we went to the caution, and Pearson was, but when the green dropped, Pearson's car just would not go. He's still in the pit area. Larry Pollard, who also came in, is back out there in competition.
Because of everybody having such problems, or like, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of the people up front, there is Joe Thurman in that blue and white number 4. There is Morgan Shepherd in the black and silver number 77. Remember, Morgan was way at the back of the line. He's been picking off cars lap after lap, make that turn after turn. But I was about to say, because of all the sudden retirements of people up front, we have a couple of surprises in the top 5. Continue to look at Shepherd. That man, Brett Bodine, leading the race. In 4th position is number 71, Bobby Dragon from up in Vermont. And Ronnie Silver is 5th, and Charlie Luck is 6th. And just a few laps ago, they were way back in 15th position.
All right, now Morgan Shepherd, who's 16th and moving back up through the field, has made a pit stop. Perhaps it wasn't a routine stop, but it was a pit stop. Can he now go the rest of the way, Benny, without a stop? Everybody else is going to have to come in.
I'm sure he can go the rest of the way. He only has 140 laps to go. There's no problem with the fuel, and I think the tires are good enough to go that distance. So
a battle here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. That is Bobby Dragon, Ronnie Silver, Charlie Luck, Brad Teague, and also in this group is the number 32 machine of Dale Jarrett.
Remember Teague running so well up at the front of the pack at the beginning of the race. Bobby Dragon, who is leading this parade around, doesn't run these kinds of races. And more importantly, Benny, Bobby does not run this type of racetrack very often.
No, he doesn't. As a matter of fact, he's doing extremely well for being on this type of racetrack, banked as highly as it is, because he comes from up in New England where all the tracks are banked 6, 8 degrees, maybe 10 or 12 at the maximum.
But the man on the move in this group is Brad Teague in car number 75. He's past Charlie Luck. Now he's working on Ronnie Silver in that white number 14 car as they come off of the corner number 4. Let's see what Teague does. He's going to go to the high side of Ronnie Silver in turn number 1. The car just a little bit sideways, but he takes that position.
Brad Teague driving one of those downsized cars for the first time ever in his career at this racetrack. This is a Chevy Celebrity. Darrell Waltrip has made the Chevy Celebrity popular in this division of this year. Teague is not among those early front runners who lost the lap. He was involved in that spin and wall crashing incident up on turn number 4, but he is on the lead lap.
And he is right now running in 5th position, but working on 4th place, Bobby Dragon. Coming out of corner number 4. Let's see what happens here. Teague again will go to the high side, just as he did to pass Ronnie Silver. I don't think he's going to get the job done as they come off the turn and go down the backstretch. Yes, he pulls alongside and takes the position from Bobby Dragon.
Brad Teague, Benny, is perhaps the best of these late model sportsmen, Grand National sportsman drivers who has never won one of these races. It sure seems like he's due.
He is due because he has been running extremely good, and not only on the short tracks, but the big tracks.
Some great racing going on here with 74 laps completed. Cars in the wall in turn number 3. At least 2 cars were involved, only one of them, though.
I think it's Paul Radford. This is the car that Dave Marcus a year ago almost won this race in, Bob. This is Paul Radford, the modified driver from Ferrum, Virginia, who got a ride in a full-size car with the fenders on it. He's not used to that. He puts in a big spin there between turns 3 and 4.
I believe that the number 22 car, Rick Mast, also involved in the incident. It was a blue and white car. I think it was Mast. Not really involved all that much, just barely saved it, as Paul Radford did do the complete spin up there in turn number 3. 75 laps completed. We are yellow once again, and we'll take this break and be back in Bristol, Tennessee.
Here comes the car that has outsold every car in the world 4 years running. You probably know what it is. It's Ford Escort. Ford Escort. World's best-selling car, 4 years running.
Now, get 6.9 financing or $300 cash back direct from Ford.
Winning's easy. Just give 110%. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. Why? It has no alcohol to evaporate. Its protection lasts all day. Glides on dry in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
Fine Menon. Shaving's rough on sensitive skin, but aftershave skin conditioner soothes.
Sensible care for sensitive skin. AFTA.
Fine Menon.
They're the top 5, 76 out of 200 laps completed. Brett Bodine continues to hang on to the lead. He's led every lap so far. Davey Allison is second. Darrell Waltrip has come from 21st starting position to 3rd. Brad Teague is back up into 4th position. Bobby Dragon holding on to 5th. And we are about to go green next time around. They are at the middle of the backstretch, headed for turn number 3. We'll get the green flag, and this battle for first place now should be a good one between Brett Bodine and Davey Allison, and it could also involve Darrell Waltrip.
And it's Ronnie Silver still holding his own in 6th. Charlie Luck is 7th. All these cars in the lead lap. Dale Jarrett is in 8th. Porter is in 9th. And 10th, I believe, is, it's Jimmy Hensley in the number 63 car.
We will watch Dale Earnhardt move back toward the front because he got one of his laps back during this caution period and now is only 1 lap down. Off of turn number 4, it's still Bodine, Allison, and Waltrip, but Waltrip wants that 2nd spot. He goes high in turn number 1, and he passes Davey Allison momentarily at least. Down the backstretch, Waltrip does get 2nd spot.
Waltrip has his car going right now. Bodine looks up in the mirror and sees Darrell Waltrip, and you know he don't want to see that.
And now Davey Allison is back to 3rd. Brad Teague running in 4th position. Then Bobby Dragon in 5th. They continue to run in that order.
Bob, the guy who's really running as we continue to watch Bodine is Dale Earnhardt. He picked up one of his laps at the last yellow flag. He started at the back. He's moved all the way up to like 6th or 7th position on the track right now. He's only 1 lap down. Earnhardt has already passed about 10.
Charlie Luck has a problem.
And there are 6 cars between the leader and Dale Earnhardt as he continues to try to gain his lap back. Charlie Luck has come into the pit area in car number 45. Charlie was running in the top 10, but has a problem with that car. It could be a cut tire because they are replacing the rubber on the right side of that number 45 machine.
Earnhardt in another one of the Chevy V6 cars. He was very hot in this division in the early part of the season. It's calmed down a little bit for him, just like it has in Winston Cup racing. There are the two people up front. A big difference, Benny, between Waltrip running up front and some of the other people. We'll talk about that in a second. Back to Pollard and the number 75, Brad Teague. Remember that Pollard has lost a couple of laps because of that cut tire, but Brad Teague has been able to stay on the same lap.
Well, he is continuing to hold off Brad Teague, despite the fact that he is a couple of laps down. Teague trying to move around Larry Pollard, moving to the high side of the racetrack, but Pollard's machine now moving rather well. Now Teague goes high on the racetrack once again in turns number 3 and 4, and right behind all of this is Dale Earnhardt. They come down the straightaway, and Teague does pass Pollard, and so does Dale Earnhardt in that number 8 car.
Benny, as we watch Teague move to the front and Earnhardt following him, remember that Earnhardt's still down a lap, Teague on the lead lap. I was about to make the comment about Waltrip. He looks to be faster than Bodine, but unlike Shepard and Earnhardt, Teague earlier in the race when they're running up front, Darrell hasn't moved up to do battle. He's just parked there following Brett around.
Well, look, we see Earnhardt trying to get by Brad Teague going in turn 3. And if he gets by Teague, he's going to have his eyes set on that front duo of Darrell Waltrip and Brett Bodine. But you're right. Waltrip realizes he can see the scoreboard. There's 112 laps to go. He don't have to do anything right now. He's got lots of time.
And there he goes to the inside of Brad Teague in the backstretch, and he passes Brad Teague. So Dale Earnhardt's march toward the front continues as he tries to gain his second lap back. The leader continues to be Brett Bodine. He has led every lap so far since the drop of the green. Now in second position is Darrell Waltrip, but there is a car between the leader and second position, and that would be the number 11 car of Jack Ingram, who you call dropped out of the race very early, but is back out there in competition.
The number 14 of Ronnie Silver. There you see him battling with Dale Jarrett.
Bumpy going
they are coming very close, Bob. Jarrett letting him know he's there. As a matter of fact, Jarrett uses that little move to go underneath Ronnie Silver. Silver's had perhaps the most surprising year of the two of them, although it's been a good year for both of them. We told you earlier that Jarrett won for the first time in his career. Ronnie Silver also won earlier this year. As a matter of fact, Silver's had a first, a second, a third, and 3 fourths. So right there on your screen are two of the more pleasant surprises of Grand National Racing in 1986.
Well, there has to be a lot of determination and good feelings in Jarrett's machine and in his crew after that win last week, and he's running very strong here this week at Bristol.
Morgan Shepherd running 7th right now. He just can't get it together. I thought that he was just a tire rubbing the fender. Evidently, I was wrong because he just can't run. They've got the fender off the tire. He still is not as quick as he should be if he's going to try to win the race.
Although, Benny, he's still moving up, and as you just made the point about Waltrip, the same kind of holds true for Morgan Shepherd. We believe he does not have to come in again for a pit stop, so he's got plenty of time. He figures there's going to be at least one more caution flag. Maybe he is where he wants to be.
Oh, trouble on the front straightaway.
Oh, we have a car in the wall. It's number 16. That's Jimmy Lawson, who hits the straightaway wall, the wall separating the pits.
And on the high side of number 4, it's Jimmy Hensley.
So 2 cars into the wall here on the 95th lap. We're nearing the halfway point, and we're going to have our 4th caution period, make that the 5th caution period of the race, as both Jimmy Lawson and Jimmy Hensley crash into the retaining walls.
5th caution, Bob, and I'll bet wholesale pit stops. It seems like, Benny, it's about time, eh?
It is time. We're halfway. They know what the car is like right now. They know how the chassis is, what they have to adjust. They'll be coming in, getting on tires, adjusting the chassis, getting ready for that last run. Here comes the leader, Bodine, down pit road. Waltrip stays on the racetrack.
So does Davey Allison, so does Dale Earnhardt, so does Brad Teague. So really, we're not seeing as many pit stops, at least on this lap, as we anticipated. Dale Jarrett comes in, so does Ronnie Silver and Rick Mast, and of course the leader, Brett Bodine, as they go to work on his car.
I noticed that Bodine waited to the very last possible second to duck in. I can't believe it's a surprise to anybody that anybody is pitting, but Jackie Rutta's there, maybe more on it from him.
Well, Darrell Waltrip has come in to get an adjustment on the left side with the wedge. They've gone to work there. They're changing right side tires. Now, a couple of interesting things, though, if you look towards the front of the car, you can see that Darrell Waltrip has been into somebody. The bumper has been pulled away. But here are the 2 points. V6 power beneath the hood of this car, but more importantly, it could play a factor later tonight. The radio is out. No radio contact between Eddie Jones, the crew chief, and Darrell Waltrip. Eddie, it's going to be tough if you don't have a radio. It's going to be tough.
Both Darrell Waltrip and Davey Allison are pitted on the backstretch. That's the reason we didn't see them come in here in the pits in front of us. Now, Brett Bodine has come in for a second stop to change rubber on the other side of the race car.
Again, the tire rule has been changed for tonight for this racetrack because it can be so treacherous. The rule is you will not be penalized for changing tires under the yellow like you normally are in a Grand National race, but you can only change each rim or each tire only once.
So we are just 1 lap from the halfway point. When they come around, it will complete lap number 99. And we'll be back with more of our live coverage of the Tri Cities Pontiac 200.
You know, a big wheeler dealer like me has to keep up on the action. The players, who's hot, who's not. And what's a better deal than picking up a copy of Sports Illustrated? You see, Sports Illustrated...
Excuse me, sir, but I got a better deal.
Yeah, kid, right. I'll handle this. You see, Sports Illustrated gives me more than just stats and scores. I get the feeling of what it's like to hit a brick wall at 30 miles an hour. How it feels to look down the barrel of a loaded gun. To lose a tough one. And how it feels to win it all. That's what Sports Illustrated gives me.
Well, Sports Illustrated gave me this NFL Follies video cassette. Free with my paid subscription. It's 44 minutes of fumbles, foolery, and follies. It makes a great gift, and it's free.
Free? Come on, kid. This is America. Nobody gives you something for nothing.
Okay, free for subscribing to Sports Illustrated.
Aha!
Ah, but that's just the half of it. I get Sports Illustrated for less than 1/2 your newsstand price. 27 action-packed weeks of football, baseball, basketball, and more delivered right to your door for 3 installments of just $9.79 each. That's more than 50% off. Subscribe now and you get the College and Pro Football Spectacular. Plus, you get this handy NFL schedule free, and you get the famous swimsuit issue uncovering what truly is man's favorite spectator sport. Phones are open now. Just call this toll-free number and you get the whole deal. You can even use your credit card.
Okay, let's get this straight. They get a 50% savings. The schedule, the football spectacular, the swimsuit issue, and the free NFL tape. Now, see, kid? That's a great deal.
Gee, sir, you're right.
Yeah.
Get the savings, get the special issues, get the NFL schedule, get the video cassette.
Oh, Sports Illustrated? I want to renegotiate.
Sports Illustrated. Get the feeling. ESPN viewers, call now. 1-800-541-9000.
We're still under caution here at Bristol International Raceway. We told you before the break that the radio was out on your second-place runner, Darrell Waltrip, but here's what can happen when you don't have a radio. The car's been loose all through the early going here, and this is the right rear tire that came off. You can see that they blistered it pretty well. So, Waltrip may have a problem as far as communicating as to what the car's doing. If he's got to come back into the pits, they've got to guess. But one guy that's going to have to be contended with for the rest of this race, gentlemen, is Dale Earnhardt. He's got his lap back.
He indeed does. Now he's at the front end of the pack, which means that he'll have to encircle the entire racetrack, but nevertheless he is back on the lead lap and he's shown in 12th position.
And Benny, I think he's asking the pace car to go quicker, isn't he?
Well, he wants the pace car to get out of the way because Earnhardt in the restarts today has had a problem getting the car up to speed, and that's why he wants to go a little faster.
The leader is Brad Teague. As the green comes back out, we have completed 102 laps. Brad Teague is the leader, and we have some bumping going on, but everybody gathers it in. Morgan Shepherd and Brad Teague having some words out there as far as bumping is concerned.
It's back to the same subject that Benny was talking about. Dale Earnhardt just cannot get that machine up to speed.
And a car on the wall. Car on the wall in turn number 4. It's number 62, John Linville. And the yellow comes out again.
You know, that's a break for Earnhardt, but yet I don't... Oh, look at what the 98 car, Larry Pollard, trying to get his lap back.
Well, nobody is getting off the accelerator very much for this caution period. They're scrambling to miss that car up in turn number 4. Everybody does. Well, and I guess Pollard did not make it, huh?
Well, no, he did not make. He did not get his lap back. He tried very hard coming off turn 4 to pass Brad Teague, the leader, but about a half a car length behind.
Yeah, Larry is 2 laps down, and he was well within the rules trying to get his lap back, racing back to the yellow.
Well, we'll replay the restart here as Brad Teague asserted himself and headed toward the front with Morgan Shepherd right behind him. And
what happened? Earnhardt's car slowed dramatically going down in turn 1. I don't know what happened to the car, but Teague ran in the back of the automobile.
And at this point, Pollard had the advantage over Teague going down or rather over Earnhardt, but he just couldn't get caught up to Brad Teague.
There's Earnhardt going down pit road, and Jackaroo is down there. Jack?
Well, Benny, here's what happened on that restart. Dale Earnhardt has got a flat right front tire. So they had to back out of the throttle so that he wouldn't crash. They've got a brake here, though, with this caution. They're going to be able to come in and make the exchange on the right side and put Earnhardt back in the hunt. But now, instead of being on the tail end of the lead lap, he's 1 lap down. Meanwhile, in the front stretch, Brad Teague has come in for what should be his final stop. And what a great run by Teague today. You know, he had that problem early on, but he's battled back. And what a great way, as Earnhardt goes back out, what a great way to come home to homecoming at Bristol for a guy that lives nearby here, Brad Teague.
What a tough break for Brad Teague, because his right front tire, when he ran in the back of Earnhardt, he knocked the right front tire, knocked the air out of it, and he also has damage to the right front. They're going around and changing the left sides while he's in there. He's going to change 4 tires.
Well, the leader is now Morgan Shepherd from Conover, North Carolina. After all is said and done, Morgan Shepherd has moved up to the front of the pack and is going to be shown as the leader here on lap number 107. Brad Teague pulls back into the race now. As the pace car comes around, we will continue to be under yellow here for a couple of more laps, and we'll be back with more from Bristol International Raceway.
"95% of Chevy Nova owners would recommend their new Nova to a friend. If that doesn't mean a lot to you, think about this. Of the cars you've owned, how many would you recommend to a friend? Nova from today's Chevrolet.
You'll recommend the car and the dealer when you buy that new Nova from Mike Savoy Chevrolet. Chevy Novas are in stock and specially priced now at Mike Savoy Chevrolet on 15 Mile. That's Maple Road, just 1 mile east of Woodward in the Troy Motor Mall.
The 1-2 punch of pro boxing comes to pass twice each month as we headline some of the best young fight talent in the USA. We'll take you ringside with Emmanuel Stewart and Detroit's very own Kronk boxing team as they prepare to show the world why they have a legendary reputation of excellence in the fight game. And don't forget about all the action from the West Coast with Fight Night at the Forum featuring Chick Hearns. Go down for the count with Pass Boxing. It's a knockout every time.
NASCAR's best drivers attack the world's fastest half-mile track Saturday on ESPN. Dale Earnhardt, hot after the NASCAR championship, is out to break his own track record at Bristol International Raceway in the Busch 500. Live Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Larry Newber, and Jack Arute back at Bristol International Raceway as we bring you the Tri Cities Pontiac 200 Grand National race from this high-banked half-mile racetrack. The leader is Morgan Shepherd. Running in second is Joe Thurman. Third is Mike Porter. In fourth position is Elton Sawyer. Fifth at the moment is Brett Bodine. Sixth is the number 32 car of Dale Jarrett as we watch the 2858 update. In seventh position is Davey Allison. Eighth is Rick Mast. In ninth position is Ronnie Silver. And 10th is Bobby Dragon. Running 11th is Darrell Waltrip. 12th is Brad Teague. Now, Teague almost lost a lap. He's been in several times. As a matter of fact, he's in right now, but he still has not lost a lap. He's on the lead.
That's he right there to far right-hand corner of your screen. Now, big front and center here, and Benny, they've been doing a lot of work on it and just barely being able to save their lead lap status.
It looks like that when he hit the back of Earnhardt's car that he broke the pin that holds the hood down and it holds all the fender together there, because they're using tape, trying to tape the fender to the bumper so that it doesn't flop around, get back on the tire.
Well, we have several cars that have already dropped out of competition. We'll look at some of them. Ed Barrier is out, so is Brian Baker. The son of Buddy. L.D. Oettinger is out. Tommy Houston has dropped out of competition, and so has Jimmy Hensley. Also, Jimmy Lawson, Kenny Burks, Joe Harrison, Paul Radford, Bosco Lowe, and John Linville.
By the way, Jimmy Lawson has come back after spending several laps in the pits. Lawson is back out. You saw the name of Brian Baker up there. His debut in this type of racing, at least on this sort of track. He's had a lot of experience in full-size cars because his dad runs the driver's school. Big, hulky guy, Benny. I thought I was looking at a linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts or something.
He looks like he should be a football player. Good-looking young man, but big.
They're still picking up debris on the racetrack. They're concentrating their effort here on the main straightaway, so we'll have a couple of more laps under yellow. We'll take this break and be right back in a moment.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But in a sport where there is no margin for error, winning is more than a quest for speed. It's a measure of skill, a test of guts. And though NASCAR has changed through the decades, its spirit still rests on what men who race have always known. It's not just the machine, it's the man who drives it. We're proud to be part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Sure, your performance tires perform in perfect weather, but it's not a perfect world, is it? Introducing the Goodyear Eagle GT Plus 4, a dramatic advance in tire design that gives you great street performance in all kinds of weather, so you can take those turns, hit those brakes, and run down those highways, even when conditions are less than perfect. Look, you either have Goodyear Eagles, or you need them.
Have you driven a Ford? When was the last time you had the kind of car that brings the road alive? Have you driven a Ford? Then you don't know what you're missing. Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Brad T continues to visit the pit area on just about every lap, but he still has not lost a lap. They're trying to straighten out the bodywork on that number 75 car. Let's go to Jack Arute.
Bob, it's definitely a tough break for Brad Teague. Now, this is the major piece of bodywork that came off the car, from the grill at the center all the way back to the side light panel. That's gone. So now what they've done is they've taken what we affectionately call 200-mile-an-hour tape, and they're trying to close in the hole. But also, as Benny Parsons alluded to, here's the other problem. When you have a big gaping hole like that, the whole right front quarter panel just hangs down to the side, rubs into the tire. So they use that tape and bungee cords to tie it back up, keep it up out of the tire, and hopefully, without losing a lap, be able to get back in the hunt.
Well, he's been successful to this point. Here's a number 16 car of Jimmy Lawson. Now, he was involved in one of our incidents here on the main straightaway that has caused this yellow. We're going to be going green after one more lap, but most of this caution period that we are under right now has been caused by track crews picking up debris on the racetrack and putting down the oil drive.
People up front who you can expect to see running with the leaders, just to review for you, you're going to see that red number 98, Larry Pollard. He is 2 laps down. Should he be able to get past Morgan Shepherd, he'll be 1 lap plus the distance of the track down. Dale Earnhardt on the inside of the 4th row there, as you see him relining, make that the 3rd row. He is 1 lap plus 2 cars down, so should Earnhardt be able to get around everybody in front of him, he would then be on the lead lap with the leaders. Everybody else in that outside row, there goes Rick Mast going by, Ronnie Silver, Bobby Dragon, Darrell Waltrip, Brad Teague. They are all on the lead lap.
Okay, the field comes off the 4th corner, and the speed picks up. The green comes out. We're back to racing. That's Morgan Shepherd, the black and silver car, going into the lead. Larry Pollard is behind him on the racetrack, but he is down at least 1 lap and possibly 2. The 3rd car in line is Charlie Luck. He also was a lap down. And making a move is Dale Earnhardt, but he is also a lap down.
It sounds like everyone you're talking about is a lap down. Where are the leaders? Morgan Shepherd's leader. He's out front.
And the second place car is the 5th in line, the blue and white number 4 car, driven by Joe Thurman. Right behind him is Brett Bodine in car 00, as Bodine is about to make a move on him.
The guy who's got to be tremendously hungry right now is a black and silver number 8. You see Earnhardt right there leaning on Charlie Luck, going around turns 1 and 2, down the backstretch into turn number 3. If Earnhardt can get back out around the number 77 of Morgan Shepherd, he will once again be on the lead lap. There is Brett Bodine in the white number 00. Remember, he led the early stages of this race. He was our pole setter. He now is beginning to turn loose his horses. He thinks he can win this race.
And he is about to take over second position. Bodine to the inside. He passes Joe Thurman. Bodine is now second. Thurman back to third.
Brett Bodine, who has not won a Grand National race yet this year. On the strength of what we saw from him last year, it looked like he would be making a real run for the championship in 1986, but it just hasn't unfolded that way.
Brett Bodine led the first 97 laps of this race, then came in for his pit stop. We're on lap number 120 now, and he has moved back up into second spot. Charlie Luck is right ahead of him on the racetrack, and Larry Pollard in that red car, number 98, is ahead of Luck. Now, let's see what Bodine does. He moves high in turns number 1 and 2 and pulls alongside Charlie Luck. Cannot make the pass. Now he begins to, and he does pass Luck at the end of the backstretch.
Benny, 120 laps down, 80 to go. Who do you like? Is it Bodine? Is it Shepherd?
Looks like Bodine has the fastest car right now as we watch Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison, two second-generation drivers, battling for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's Joe Thurman right in front of him in car 4. Thurman followed by Jarrett and then Davey Allison in a battle for position here. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Joe Thurman from Rocky Mount, Virginia, trying to hold on to that position desperately. But Jarrett now looks to the inside. Meanwhile, Davey Allison wants to go to the high side of the racetrack, but thinks better of it.
Davey Allison is in the Ed Whitaker car. We like to call that the fastest rent-a-car in the West or in the South, because that's where we are, down in NASCAR country. Allison, of course, has brought the Miller sponsorship.
125 laps. The car is up in the wall, but saves it. The number 3 car of Mike Porter.
I think there's a tire down, Bob.
Scraped the wall in number 2, drops down to the low side of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4, and will obviously be coming in for a pit stop. It will not necessitate a yellow. Meanwhile, look at this. Dale Earnhardt trying to get his lap back from Morgan Shepherd. This is short track racing at its very, very best, being done by 2 of the very, very best. Morgan Shepherd in front in the black and silver car. Dale Earnhardt, black and silver, right behind him. Earnhardt just trying everything he can to get that lap back. He's going high, he's going low. Now he goes high in turns 3 and 4. I think he's going to do it this time. Let's see. They're side by side coming off the corner. Earnhardt has it at the starting line, and yes, he does get his lap back.
2 guys who don't run the Grand National Series every time, but boy, when they show up, they are truly a force to be reckoned with. Jack Ingram going very slow down the main straightaway. We thought maybe it would necessitate a yellow, but it does not. Jack pulls off the racetrack into the pit area behind the wall. As a matter of fact, no yellow flag comes out. That's exactly what Dale Earnhardt wanted. Boy, seldom do you see the Iron Man having such a tough night, Benny. Can you ever remember Ingram going through one of these? No, I can't, but Bristol Speedway is a racetrack that can make strong men cry. It's a tough, tough racetrack. And tomorrow night, these guys are looking at 500 laps. Hey, we're only in 130 laps right now. Look at all the excitement we've had. Tomorrow night is 500 laps. That'll be live at 7:30 tomorrow night here on ESPN. And the Hendrick cars, Jeff Bodine and Tim Richmond, will be on the front row. You saw that earlier tonight as we presented qualifying for that race live here on ESPN. Speaking about Bodine, there's that white car. And he is challenging. Morgan Shepherd challenging for the lead. Bodine has moved up right behind the leader, Morgan Shepherd. They go down the backstretch, and Bodine closes within inches, but Shepherd maintaining that first spot. While this is going on, look at 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 3rd place car is the number 4 car right there, right in the middle of that group. Joe Thurman. 4th is Davey Allison. 5th is Dale Jarrett. 6th is Darrell Waltrip on the high side in the red roof number 1. And the 7th place car is Brad Teague. Allison really lost out on that turn.
He sure did. He got behind a slower car, number 55, Rodney Lee Busch. And besides that, nearly lost it coming off the 4th turn last lap. And he has dropped back several positions. He's gotten out of this pack that was running together.
One of the finest efforts from Joe Thurman in quite some time, Benny.
It is a great run for Joe Henry out of Rocky Mount, Virginia. He's right in there amongst them.
135 laps are completed out of 200 that make up this race. And now look at the battle for the lead once again as Bodine tries to take it but cannot. They go into turn number 3. Bodine moves to the high side of the racetrack alongside Morgan Shepherd. Here they come at the line. They're inches apart. They go into turn number 1, and Bodine, I believe, is going to get it. Yes, he does, at least for the time being.
What an excellent line.
Oh, wow.
An excellent line by Brett Bodine on that last lap. It's hard to turn in a perfect lap, and Mario Andretti says, I got one once in 1969, and I'm still trying to look for the second one, but I'll tell you, that's about as close as you come. Bodine used the banks to perfection.
He certainly did, and Bodine's car is strong tonight. There's a couple of times during the night that I felt like that he was that other cars were faster, but not right now. There's Joe Thurman, Dale Jarrett once again taking on their battle for 3rd spot.
That is Charlie Luck right in front of them in the yellow car, and every once in a while you see the red, there it is, of Larry Pollard. Those guys are at least 1 lap down in the case of Pollard, 2. They are among the consistent top 10 runners in Grand National Racing, and that's why 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th just can't get by them. They're not holding them back. They just can't race around them. Remember, they're not racing for the lead, so there's no move-over flag.
And that guy right behind him, that's Darrell Waltrip, car 1, the red, white, and blue car.
Now Waltrip moving up to challenge Dale Jarrett as Jarrett moves to the high side of Joe Thurman and tries to take over that 3rd position. He'll use Charlie Luck as a block, and there is Jarrett going into 3rd spot. Now we'll see if Darrell Waltrip can go into 4th position.
Waltrip on the high side right behind Jarrett. Jarrett is still trying to work his way around. That's Charlie Luck. Larry Pollard right in front. There comes Waltrip on the high side of Thurman. Remember, they're battling for position.
And not yet. I thought that Waltrip had that 4th position. Yes, he does. Waltrip is in 4th now. 5th is Joe Thurman, and 6th is Brad Teague.
Boy, Larry Pollard really making the people running in the top 7 positions work to get around him. Larry is trying to hold on with the last ounce of strength that he has because he knows he's a lap down to all these people. He's trying to stay in front of them, so should a caution flag come out, he would be in an advantageous position. But finally, he just had to let go. The pressure was too much.
Well, if Charlie Luck were not a lap down of this race, he would be a contender because he's staying right up there with these guys. Now Jarrett and Waltrip separate themselves from this pack. They go down the back stretch, and Jarrett will try to go high and pass Mike Porter in car number 3.
Dale Jarrett, who was in 4th in points in 1986. He's very close in points to Ronnie Silver and L.D. Ottinger. L.D., of course, we saw him prominently earlier in this broadcast. Jarrett has been one of the most consistent top 10 point collectors in Grand National Racing since the inception of the Busch Series in 1982. He's finished 6th, 5th, 4th, and 5th, and currently rides in 4th. Those are point standings, not feature finishes.
145 laps have been completed, and the lead now is held by Brett Bodine once again, with Morgan Shepherd running in 2nd position. It's a 3.1 second differential between 1st and 2nd. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Bob Gwynn. I'd like to tell you about a growing trend in menswear. It's called computer tailoring. That's right. Would you believe computers are being used to formulate fit in a suit? Hey, I got nothing against computers, but I've been a tailor for 42 years, and I know there's no substitute for experience in the making of a quality suit, like this template-tailored suit right here. Look, when the day comes that a computer can make a better suit than a tailor, I'll be the first to admit it.
If you're a Major League fan who just happens to be cheering for the boys with a roar from Detroit, then there's only one place for you to be in the summertime with Pro-Am Sports for 80 live Tiger telecasts tracking Sparky sluggers around the big leagues as they eye the East for another coveted division title. That's more games than you'll find telecast on any other channel. So subscribe to Pro-Am Sports today, because when the Tigers step to the plate, they're at home on Pass.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, where Brett Bodine is leading the Tri Cities Pontiac 200 with 151 laps to go. 50 more will complete this race. Morgan Shepherd is running in second position. Dale Jarrett is third. Darrell Waltrip fourth. In fifth position would be Joe Thurman. In sixth, Brad Teague. Seventh, Davey Allison.
50 laps at just 16.5 seconds. The maximum speed, the optimum speed that they'll reach on this racetrack is about 150 miles an hour before they go into the corners. Remember, this is just a half-mile in length. That is the equivalent of going down to the street corner, going past 4 or 5 of your neighbors' homes, and then turning around at 150 miles an hour. There is Brad Teague. He is fifth right now behind Thurman, who is fourth. Waltrip is third. Jarrett, who is make that fourth, is Waltrip. Jarrett is third. And Teague is trying to hold back Davey Allison and trying to put the pressure on fifth running Joe Thurman.
That's a tough spot for Brad Teague to be in, because he wants to get by Joe Thurman, but he doesn't want Davey Allison to get in front of him, so he's got to try to be aggressive while protecting his flank. It's tough to do on a racetrack, as you mentioned, as fast as Bristol.
And Luck and Pollard are still in that group. Plus, they've got another speedster, Mike Porter. We saw him lose a lap, about 20 or 30 laps ago, and he's back up to speed. Bob?
The man on the move, though, is Dale Earnhardt. He's just about to catch up with this group and about to make a challenge on Davey Allison. He has moved back up to 8th position. He is on the lead lap and is certainly not out of this 200-lap event.
Here he's on the outside of Davey Allison.
Oh,
goes right by him.
Boy, that was quick. Oh.
Earnhardt slides right by him. He moves to 7th. He'll try to take 6th now from Brad Teague. Let's see if he does. They go down the backstretch. It's Earnhardt moving to the outside position. They'll go through here. It's 2 abreast. Oh, and Teague gets a little bit sideways. He loses the spot. Now Earnhardt is about to gain another one from Joe Thurman.
And remember how many laps these people have been battling close to Thurman and Earnhardt. Oh, they touch.
Thurman and Earnhardt touch, but Earnhardt does not lose a position.
And there is second and third. Here comes Dale Jarrett, really turning on here in the final quarter of this race, and Dale Jarrett has moved into second. Remember, we talked about him at the top of the show. There goes Earnhardt. Meanwhile, around Thurman in the high side, Earnhardt now has a relatively free track in front of him. I say relatively free because remember how hard it's been to pass Charlie Luck and Larry Pollard, but here comes Earnhardt running like a house of fire, like gangbusters.
Passing Charlie Luck. He's looking now to pass Larry Pollard, and ahead of Pollard is the number 3 car of Mike Porter. The man on the move is Dale Earnhardt. We're timing his lap to see just exactly how fast he's going. He moves to the outside of Mike Porter in the 4th turn and completes that pass. Now he has relatively clean racetrack between himself and Darrell Waltrip, who is running in 3rd spot.
1760. That's about 1 second slower than he would qualify. But nevertheless, that's under racing conditions, and we saw him pass cars.
And that's a 109.022 mile an hour lap unofficially. We'll time the leader now, Brett Bodine, to see how the two compare. Bodine crosses the finish line and the clock begins.
Bob, on the last lap on my handheld watch, I got about 17.8, so let's see if he's showing consistency, and if he is running that quick, that means that Bodine is running as fast as Earnhardt, and by the way, he has about 3/4 of a lap lead. Let's see, 17.8, exactly what I had on the previous lap.
But Earnhardt is faster by 0.2 of a second, and that was under racing conditions, passing cars. So Earnhardt is a force to be reckoned with.
Now Darrell Waltrip has moved up to challenge Morgan Shepherd for that 3rd position.
Remember that Dale Jarrett has moved into second. There is Waltrip on the inside, Shepherd on the high side, 2 Winston Cup competitors. And so far, Shepherd has been able to hold back Waltrip. Both of them see the other black and silver car of Dale Earnhardt in their mirrors. And they also know, maybe Waltrip doesn't, but Shepherd does from the radios, that Earnhardt is once again on the lead lap and coming on.
Well, these two will be added tomorrow night also in the Winston Cup race. Both Darrell Waltrip and Morgan Shepherd have already qualified for that race tomorrow night. So double duty being done here at Bristol. Earnhardt continues to be just a few yards behind these two, but they are battling for position. That is Morgan Shepherd and Darrell Waltrip.
And Morgan holds Darrell off. Now Darrell comes back. Side by side, lap after lap.
Darrell Waltrip, who has won 4 of the 9 Grand National races he has entered this year, in something like 40%, yes, 40% of all the Grand National races he has entered in the last 3 years. Whenever he runs here in this type of racing, he seems to do very well.
Waltrip has him for the time being and will continue to remind you that Dale Earnhardt is closing in on these two.
Yeah, you're going to see him pretty soon. Now, watching some of these wide shots, there's another black and silver car just off to the right. I guarantee you, he's going to be coming in the picture. There he is.
Meanwhile, Brett Bodine has a 4.5-second lead on Dale Jarrett for that first position.
Boy, Earnhardt, Benny is really coming on. He is running very quick.
The problem is these two cars are side by side. How is Earnhardt going to get by? Where is he going to make it 3 abreast? Oh, Darrell Waltrip, a slower car. Rodney Boucher up in front. Waltrip had to back off and goes by Earnhardt on the outside.
Earnhardt moves to 4th position. Let's see him go to work now on Morgan Shepherd. Earnhardt to the inside, and Dale Earnhardt moves to 3rd.
I don't think we can stress enough. Yellow flag is coming out on the race course. What a tremendous break for Earnhardt. There are going to be several cars between him and the leader, Brett Bodine, but this wipes out about a half a lap lead that Bodine had on Earnhardt. What a tremendous break. Benny, I was about to say, I don't think we can underestimate how much attention it takes to do what Dale Earnhardt is doing. It's so difficult to be able to judge what's going on out there because things go around so quickly. It's like getting dizzy, and Earnhardt has been able to pay such attention.
171 laps completed. The 7th caution period of the evening is out. We'll be right back with more from Bristol.
A typical day with the station wagon, except one thing's changed. The station wagon.
Taurus.
The new Ford Taurus wagon, with the design and performance that make everyday driving more than an everyday experience.
Taurus. Now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. Taurus. Taurus for us. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Mr. Goodwrench knows your car's engine is an inferno of heat and friction. 100, 200 piston strokes of engine wear per second. It needs the life-saving fluid that protects it right. GM Goodwrench Motor Oil. Takes the friction, takes the heat. It's everything General Motors asks for in a fine motor oil. Get it from Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
Last year here on ESPN, we presented a tremendous lineup of college football, and we'll begin it all again Saturday, August 30th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time as we present Miami at South Carolina. Looks to be an offensive battle of the quarterbacks. A tremendous year of college football, and it begins Saturday, August 30th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Miami at South Carolina.
I don't know how the Hurricanes do it. They keep coming up with quarterbacks. This is like their 3rd or 4th in a row who looks destined for pro football status. Benny, we started to make the point about how much attention it takes to do what Earnhardt is doing. It's not enough that he's so fast. He's been able to pass cars in a racetrack where you really can't see that.
Where you can't see that well, and he's having to pass cars on the inside and outside. Normally, there's always a pattern that you said. You'll pass all the cars on the inside or on the outside. Here, it's all over the place. He's inside and outside. Jack, what do you have for us from the pits?
Well, Benny, the thing that I was impressed with, and I think it's a bold move, but a good move by Dale Earnhardt and Morgan Shepherd. Both of them have come in. They've taken on the tires, of course. Now, for Shepherd, he needs those tires to stay competitive. But with the way Earnhardt's been running, he very well could have run the tires away on the right side. Actually, they changed the left sides, correct me. But he has fresh new tires now. With the way he made up that lap on the field under green, he's going to be loaded for bear. He's cocked the hammer, and he's ready to shoot the shotgun on the leader, and that, of course, is Brett Bodine. It's going to be one whale of a finish. My pick is Earnhardt.
Well, Jack, while you were talking about that, Morgan Shepherd has went behind the wall. He has pulled his car behind the wall just a couple of pits down from you. You might be able to find out what happened to him.
Quite a development here, but Dale Earnhardt is still out there. He's dropped back to 7th position, however, because of this pit stop. We'll take a break and be back with more from Bristol.
Only the most advanced watch factory in the world can offer you the first solar-powered, battery-free analog watch for less than $60. It's a Loris. Loris, more watch than humanly possible for less than $60.
This is an expose on the new Ford Escort EXP. Expressive. Expansive. Experience a new form of two-seat excitement. Ford Escort EXP.
Now, get 6.9 financing or $300 cash back direct from Ford.
Powerful USAC midgets challenge the dangerous short tracks. Live from Indianapolis every Thursday night at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
We're back at Bristol International Raceway, and it's a short night for Morgan Shepherd after running so incredibly well. Here's what's happened that has put Shepherd behind the wall. Underneath the car, a mount on the back that holds the rear end has failed. It's come unloose, and it just can't run at Bristol that way. You can't have the rear end just flopping back and forth. A tough break for Shepherd. He's out, but he'll be back tomorrow night.
In the Busch 500 Winston Cup race from right here at Bristol International Raceway, the track crew remains on the racetrack searching for more debris. We've been under caution now for several laps. We went yellow on lap number 171, and this, as you can see, is lap 177. Well, a couple of other exciting auto racing events coming up next weekend will be in Darlington, South Carolina for the Southern 500. One of the real key races on the Winston Cup circuit. That will be next Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And also the same day, delayed coverage of the IndyCar race from Mid-Ohio, the Escort Radar Warning 200. That will be at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. All of that next Sunday here on ESPN.
You know, Bob, your race fans might remember last Southern 500, Bill Elliott, by winning the Southern 500, took home a check for $1 million.
It isn't up for grabs this year, but nevertheless, the Southern 500 is a special race.
It is a special race. It's been going on since 1950. That's 36 years.
And Benny Parsons will be in the field, we hope.
I hope so. 20. Benny Parsons has never won the Southern 500
we hope Benny Parsons wins next week.
20 laps to go, guys. A little bit more than 20. What is that, about 6 minutes? So we don't have very far to go at all in this race. Frankly, I'm a little surprised that Earnhardt chose to come in. Although, as Jack pointed out, Benny, he probably used up his tires running as hard as he did. I know he has fresh tires now, but once again, he has to go to work. He's got 6 cars between himself and leader Brett Bodine. He only had 1 or 2 before.
It was a very surprising pit stop. I agree with you, Larry. I don't understand why he stopped, because right now, I don't know how he's going to get by all these cars and still win the race.
All right, Brett Bodine leads him down. He takes the green flag. That's Dale Jarrett right behind him in 2nd position. Darrell Waltrip is in 3rd. Brad Teague is 4th.
Oh, Teague is loose.
And Teague gets a little bit sideways. Davey Allison goes to the low side and grabs the position. They race into turn number 3. Look at the scramble for position here. They're 3 wide, where you normally aren't many more than 1 or 2 wide.
Teague was the wild card in that one. Something really going awry. Maybe a tire going down or something rubbing or breaking. Teague held back Earnhardt for maybe a half a lap. Remember that half a lap he just lost. Maybe that's the difference between winning and 2nd place.
Dale Earnhardt trying to move up from that 8th position. Here he is down the straightaway. And the leader, Brett Bodine, now begins to stretch out the advantage just a little bit on Dale Jarrett. There's the interval between 1st and 2nd. The real battle is for 2nd and 3rd now, as Darrell Waltrip has come on to challenge Dale Jarrett for that 2nd spot.
Darrell Waltrip alongside Jarrett just a moment ago, coming off turn 4, was not able to get by.
And Dale Earnhardt is moving once again. Believe me, he is moving. He's up to 4th and will be approaching the rear of the Waltrip machine before too long.
but it's unlikely that this time he will get by both Jarrett and Waltrip in, say, the space of a lap. There's Ronnie Silver. He's a lap car running in the top 10, but not among the leaders. Earnhardt has about 30 car lengths between himself and the leader of the race, the number 00 car of Brett Bodine. I don't think that Earnhardt has enough time to win this race, but maybe to get second.
Waltrip trying to take second on the inside down the backstretch. He and Jarrett are side by side now. Jarrett grabs back the spot momentarily. Now Waltrip grabs it again and holds on this time. Waltrip is in second.
Darrell Waltrip showed Dale Jarrett how to run on the outside the last time he passed it, and Jarrett remembered it well. He tried to get by Waltrip on the outside, but Darrell, a little bit quicker than he was able to get by on the inside this time.
Harken back to about lap number 50. Remember when we said that Waltrip was fast, but he wasn't battling up with people? He wasn't using up his car, his tires, and himself. Now there's a different Darrell Waltrip coming down to the final 50 laps of this race, and here comes Dale Earnhardt. Bob, it's the same Dale Earnhardt.
The battle for third now. Dale Earnhardt to the inside of Jarrett. He grabs a position easily. He sets sail now for Darrell Waltrip. Earnhardt has moved back up to third, so let's see how he closes in now on Darrell Waltrip. We've got 12 laps to go. 187 laps completed. Here is lap 188. 12 to go for Brett Bodine, the leader.
Earnhardt seems to be so far superior to everybody. He'll get around Waltrip, but Darrell is not going to make it easy for him. There's no love lost between these two guys.
Let's see how it happens here on the backstretch. Earnhardt is looking to the inside of Waltrip. Waltrip gets a little bit squirrely and gets a little bit high. Earnhardt alongside into turn one. Dale Earnhardt grabs second.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is all set up right now. Brett Bodine, there he is, the leader, is going into turn 3. Turn 4 will pull back. Watch for the next car. There it is. You can see the difference. The interval between first and second with 10 laps to go. Remember we said earlier, both Benny and I agreed, second place maybe, but it didn't seem like Brett was going to win, or that Dale was going to win this one.
We'll be back for the exciting close and finish of this Grand National race from Bristol International Raceway right after these messages.
Express invites you to enter the world of information. Express delivers 24-hour worldwide news to your home or office personal computer through the magic of satellites and cable television. Up-to-the-minute national news, sports, business news, stock quotes, weather, breaking international news and information from over 30 of the world's foremost news sources, all for a low monthly fee. Information when you want it. Express brings your computer to life. Call your local cable company for complete information.
We have 5 laps to go in this 200-lap race, and Brett Bodine continues to be the leader. Dale Earnhardt is running in second position, then Darrell Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and Brad Teague. But I believe that Bodine has the distance that he needs to win this race. Time will tell. Less than 5 to go now.
But, Bob, it is so close. Earnhardt is going to make it so exciting for these fans. We can see them both. On the left, the white car, that's Brett Bodine. The dark car on the right corner of the screen, Dale Earnhardt. That's the distance, first and second. There they are. 3 laps to go right now.
1.7 seconds separates first and second. Bodine halfway around on this one. This will complete lap number 198. We'll have 2 to go. And Earnhardt continues to close in. 2 more laps to go.
And I've been following the interval on my handheld stopwatch, Bob and Benny, and it keeps coming down about 1/10 of a second every lap.
But it's not enough. If Brett Bodine's car continues to function as it has, he will not relinquish that lead. There's the white flag. 1 more lap to go. It is Brett Bodine leading. He has been one of 3 leaders in this exciting race here at Bristol tonight. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Brett Bodine brings it off corner number 4, and Brett Bodine wins the Tri Cities Pontiac 200 with Dale Earnhardt second, Darrell Waltrip third, fourth position is a good battle between Dale Jarrett and Brad Teague, and Jarrett has it.
Well, I had the feeling all along that Bodine was due. You see Dale Earnhardt moving up alongside him, Brad, and congratulating him. He won here at Bristol his rookie year, and you had the feeling that with those second-place finishes in the last month, and as well as the Bodine family likes Bristol, that tonight was going to be Brett's night if nothing went wrong with the car, and that's the way it worked out.
In addition to winning the purse here tonight, Brett Bodine becomes the 4th qualifier in the Born to Race $25,000 challenge. He joins Jack Ingram, L.D. Ottinger, and Dale Jarrett as qualifiers for that event, and it's all connected with a movie that's being filmed at Charlotte. And we'll be right back with more from the winner's circle in a moment.
Got to get out, got to get away. Kind of Mustang, it's a Mustang kind of day. Got the feeling in the right groove. Got to Mustang attitude. Got to get out, got to get away.
Now get 6.9 financing or $300 cash back direct from Ford.
I put a good 150 miles a year of stop and go driving on my car. Quarter mile here, quarter mile there. It adds up. So I use Wynn's friction proofing engine treatment. Adding a bottle with every oil change helps stop oil breakdown and oil burning. Wynn's has added protection and insurance that helps me run cooler and smoother. And if Wynn's does all that for my $100,000 race car, just think what it can do for this one.
Wynn's, a better run for your money for over 40 years.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, and Brett Bodine has brought his car onto the scales to have it weighed, part of the post-race inspection here. He'll soon be moving to victory lane, and we'll have a chance to talk with him, but a nice performance for the 2nd year in a row for Brett Bodine.
It was an excellent performance. As a matter of fact, I was handed a note here that tells me this is the first time this year a Grand National driver regular, has won on a track larger than .395 miles. So the bigger tracks have been dominated by the Winston Cup drivers. Not tonight. Brett Bodine had their full measure.
He was one of 3 leaders in this race. Besides himself, Brad Teague led for a while, and so did Morgan Shepherd. But he led 160 of the 200 laps en route to the victory here this evening.
Bob, it also pushes Bodine very close, if not over $100,000 in winnings in Grand National Division so far this year. Jack Ingram, of course, leads the league in that category, but Bodine had winnings totaling $86,000 coming in. And by the way, if you're wondering who have been those other Winston Cup people who have beaten the Grand National cars, Earnhardt, there you see Earnhardt talking to Darrell Waltrip as they talk about Brett Bodine, the young guy putting him on him in this race. Earnhardt won the first 2 Grand National races this year at Daytona and Rockingham. Waltrip won at Darlington. Morgan Shepherd won here at Bristol. I guess you'd call him now a Winston Cup regular. Waltrip won again at Dover, and then at Charlotte was Tim Richmond.
Let's go down to Jackaroo.
Well, Brett Bodine has made his way to victory lane without his race car. They're still weighing it and checking it. Maybe they're not convinced that you were legal the way you made really mincemeat out of the competition tonight, Brett.
Well, Jackie, I'll tell you, this Thomas Brothers Country Ham Exxon Oldsmobile really ran strong all day. I mean, when we first unloaded it, we knew we were going to be fast, and it's just a credit to the team. We hung in there this year. This is our first win, and, you know, we just a great team effort to come back and get a win here at Bristol. This is my 2nd in a row here. I won here last year with Robert G., and this is great. I got to say one thing. I want to say happy birthday to my grandfather. He's 93 years old today.
Well, this is one whale of a birthday gift, no question about that.
It sure is.
Brett, the thing that I was most impressed with is there was a lot of talk about the fact that, you know, there was so much racing behind you, but you dominated the first part of the race, came in, took your pit stop, took on fuel, checked things over, and then slowly and methodically worked your way back to the front. And after that, it was tout fini. An awful lot of maturity for a young driver such as yourself. Where do you get it all?
Well, I'll tell you, it all comes from my older brother, Jeff. You know, I watched him race for years, and that's who I learned how to drive from. And a lot of times people say it looks like Jeff in the car. Well, I try to pattern myself after him. He's a thinking driver, and that's what I want to be, a thinking driver. We got the big lead, and I was just riding. And I was afraid we'd get a caution late there, and it came, but we had a lot left for him, and it's just a great effort by everybody. And I want to say hi to Howard Thomas. He wasn't here tonight to see the win, but I know he was watching.
Now, I remember this guy when he first started racing after Jeffrey dominated the modified circuit, and you had more than your share of problems when you were in modifieds. You licked that. You became very successful there. But I've talked to Jeffrey, and he says this is your home, where they put sheet metal on the sides to cover up those tires. You're the best. It's the truth, Jackie. Modified racing, I was forced to run it because that's the part of the country I was from. I always wanted to run sportsman, late model type cars, and this is my home, where you can run 200 laps and use your head instead of a 30-lap charge to the front. I like to take my time and do it the right way. Gentlemen, we talked about it at the outset of tonight's race, that this was a spotlight. The next stop is Winston Cup. Who knows? Maybe for Brett Bodine. Let's go topside.
All right, well, Brother Jeff will be on the pole for tomorrow night's Winston Cup race that we'll have live for you at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be right back with more in just a moment.
They say the best ones are the hard ones. These you don't break. You try to reach an agreement. And when you do, you head for the mountains. Busch. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for Busch beer. Head for the mountain.
You know, a lot of cars out there have ride problems. Why? It may be their springs, especially when you load up. They can cause sag or bottoming out. Now there's a solution. Cargo coils by Moog. Different from standard springs. Let me show you why. These closely spaced coils smooth the ride, and cargo coils have these stronger coils to take over when you load up. So when you hit the road, don't hit the road. Get a pair of Moog cargo coils at your mechanic or auto parts store. World-class athletes shoot for their personal best Monday on ESPN. The Weltklasse track and field competition promises the world's top 10 athletes in every event, competing for a spot on their Olympic teams. The pressure's on Monday night at 8 Eastern, here on ESPN.
Can the Indians avenge that 24-5 trouncing by the Red Sox? I'm Chris Berman. Greg Gumbel and I will have a full baseball report and more on the Sports Center at 11:30 Eastern.
A gallant battle to the end by Dale Earnhardt, who moved up to the front of the pack and almost made it a race, but Brett Bodine comes out the winner here tonight. But let's go to Jackaroot with Dale Earnhardt, who finished second here.
And without taking anything away from the victory of Brett Bodine, Dale Earnhardt, you are worth the price of admission alone tonight. What an incredible run after going several laps down.
I had a good time. I even went out and paid myself after the race was over. Enjoyed it so much. You know, we got those 2 laps down with the left rear flat, and you know, you wonder whether you ought to go on and run because you can't make that much money, but I said, hell, we can make that up. And we went back out there and stood on it and got our laps back. And if at the end, if I hadn't had to race the lap cars, I think I could have caught him. But I used up the right sides, and congratulations to Brent. And, you know, Goodwrench Chevrolet did a good job tonight, and we just tickled to get second.
Now, you used up the right sides, and that was the reason for that late race pit stop. You had to take on right side tires.
No, I took on lefts. I'd already took on rights on the caution, and the rule is you can take 2 on the left, too. So we got the lefts and checked the rights and put it around the bite end, but it tightened the car up too much. So maybe the right sides were used up too much, and it just, you know, slowed us down. We should have left the wedge out, but still, you know, you give them a good run for it.
Hey, listen, 200 laps tonight, the way you performed, what's ahead tomorrow night when you've got 500 laps to play with here?
Hell, I just got warmed up tonight.
If this is just a warm-up, I don't want to see the bonfire tomorrow night, guys.
It should be exciting, and we hope you will be with us at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Hey, fellas, you see the screen on the screen right now? That's Darrell Waltrip on the left, Dale Earnhardt on the right. Darrell Waltrip has a sponsor now on his Grand National car, Rainbow Bread.
Right.
And when I saw this shot a moment ago, all I could think of, that's Rainbow on the left and that's Rambo on the right.
Oh, Benny, boo. All right, the top 10 finishers. Brett Bodine, the winner. Dale Earnhardt, second. Darrell Waltrip, third. Davey Allison, fourth. Dale Jarrett, fourth. And Davey Allison, fifth. Finishing in 6th position was Rick Mast. 7th was Joe Thurman. 8th was Ronnie Silver. Charlie Luck finished 9th. And Brad Teague had a 10th place finish. We'll be back to have some closing comments from Bristol International in a moment.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now get 6.9% financing or cash back on the purchase or red carpet lease of most new Ford cars and trucks. Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger, $600 cash back on Thunderbird, and 5-speed tempos. Low rates and cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too. That's 6.9 financing or cash back on the best-built American cars and trucks. 6 years running.
The 1985 NHRA Pro Stock Champion. Tires, Goodyear Racing Eagles. The 1986 Street version. Tires, Goodyear Eagles. The 86 SCCA GT1 Champion. Tires, Goodyear Racing Eagles. The 86 Street version. Tires, Goodyear Eagles. The 85 IROC Champion. Tires, Goodyear Racing Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them.
For me, there's just nothing to compare with the right car on the right road on the right day. Great cars are the passion of my life. That's why, after 25 years at the leading edge of automotive publishing, I'm ready to introduce you to the best car magazine I know how to make.
I'm David E. Davis, Jr., and my new passion is Automobile Magazine.
Automobile Magazine is where the best and the brightest will take you wherever the road goes and sometimes beyond, with more style, more wit, and with no more boring cars. This is a magazine that I've wanted to do all my life, and I hope you have as much fun reading it as I'll have bringing it to you.
Call 1-800-643-3000 to subscribe now, and you'll receive all 12 issues of Automobile Magazine for a full year at less than half the newsstand price. A $30 value for only $14.95. Call 1-800-643-3000 for Automobile Magazine, where the good life gets rolling.
Back at Bristol International Raceway, where Brett Bodine has won the Tri Cities Pontiac 200 for Grand National cars. Let's go down to Jack Arute in the pit area for some closing comments. Jack?
Well, as the festivities continue behind me in Victory Lane, one would have to say that Friday night here at Bristol was loaded with bees. Bristol International Raceway belongs to the Bodine brothers. Earlier tonight, Jeff Bodine won the pole, and then just a couple of minutes ago, his brother Brett Bodine captured the Tri-Cities 200. I think it's a good indication of what we're going to see tomorrow night. Just a whale of an incredible race tonight with only 200 laps. Like I said to Dale Earnhardt, what's going to happen with 500? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it starting at 7:30 tomorrow night.
And so are we from the booth, huh, Benny?
I'm looking forward to it so much. 200 laps tonight, 2.5 times that excitement tomorrow night. I don't know if we can stand it. What do you think?
Well, Larry, you'll also be in the booth with us tomorrow night for that Busch 500.
I'm thinking that last week seemed to be an Andretti weekend in Indy cars, and I'm wondering and kind of leaning toward this being a Bodine weekend in Winston Cup racing and NASCAR racing. I kind of like Jeff for tomorrow. I know it's easy to pick the pole setter, but he seems like he's due for a win once again.
By the way, the first 5 finishers here tonight had V6 engines. Well, the Tri-Cities Pontiac 200 has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Busch Beer. The beer is with a taste as smooth as its name. And by Goodyear Eagles. You either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. We urge you to be with us tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time when we bring you the Busch 500 Winston Cup race from right here at Bristol International Raceway. Once again, the winner tonight was Brett Bodine. For Jack Arute, Larry Newber, and Benny Parsons. This is Bob Jenkins. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. For now, so long, everyone.